Hey, what's up, my Productive fam? Welcome back to the Taking Back Confidence podcast brought to you by Productive Gents. This is episode 3, and this one is near and dear to my heart, people. Reason being, it's something that I've lugged around like baggage from when I was a little kid until now. Reason being is I grew up without a male role model in my life, and I sort of felt lost. Everything that I needed to do in life was done through trial and error, and the buildup of those mistakes made me start to lack confidence in my own personal self-respect, meaning I just didn't trust my ability to succeed in anything, and I often felt pressured to find a way to take it. I didn't let things come naturally. Okay, guys, let's dive right into this journaling process. And if we were writing in here, this would be step number 1, where we write down the moment that we felt the lack of confidence that we had in whatever it may be. Today's topic is obviously the self-respect. Now, for me, where this lack of confidence in my own personal self-respect started was I often gave way too much weight on my perceived lack of respect from others that were out there. That could be family, friends, or strangers. My biggest weakness happened to be the strangers. Don't know why. I call these strangers manhood testers. If you were a guy, you've kind of run into some dudes that want to test your manhood. They think that they're alphas, but they're really not. What it is they're weak, and they want to prove to themselves that they're strong in some capacity, or they're the top dog. And then what that does to you is it makes you want to engage, and it just starts a never-ending cycle of bullshit that you do not need to be involved in. Okay, so here are some examples of what I perceived as manhood testers. Number 1, keyboard tough guys or internet gangsters who say things to test you. I think this is majorly present in this Instagram day and age. 2 are strangers who'd stare you down when you're walking down the street. 3 are a group of lames who would attempt to punk you in front of your girl. Now, listen, I've engaged with all of these types that we just mentioned. If you stared at me, I'd stare at you. If you confronted me, I'd never back down from the challenge. I cared more about the respect I was going to take from those who perceived to challenge me than the self-respect that I had for myself. Look, it could be 3-on-1, but my pride or ego would never allow me to walk away from the situation. It was some real which line is going to blink first type of shit. My insecurities just didn't allow me to give a shit about losing, and that made me dangerous. Not only to myself, but to others as well. So why did that make me dangerous? Now, it made me dangerous because I would stop at no length to win back my confidence from those that I perceived who weren't giving it to me. If that meant getting into a fight and harming someone physically, well, so be it. The problem with that is that decision could have had major consequences for me moving forward. If I fought to show that I wasn't a chump, well, I could have been arrested, and that could have had some major impacts on what I wanted to do in my future life. All right, so we find ourselves in step number 2, guys, and that means that we are out of our lack of confidence fog that we were in step 1, and now we find ourselves in our present day self where we can look at things through a set of clearer glasses and kind of assess the situation from then to now and see how we feel differently about it. Now, for me, this journaling process actually brought up 3 questions for myself. And the first one being were these people really staring at me? Did the internet gangsters, the keyboard tough guys, did what they say really matter? Because the third question, which I think is the most important, was my lack of confidence in my self-respect essentially just amplifying the lack of respect that I thought that I was being given from others and causing me to essentially fight or engage with people that really didn't matter to take back this respect. By engaging with these people, I gave my power and self-respect away instantly. Now, I made the decision to essentially jeopardize my present day self as well as my future self. I could have gotten jammed up legally for what? To prove my manhood to a stranger? Was I really willing to risk my future success to prove myself in 1 second or 1 instance of what equates to a lifelong journey? Doesn't make sense to you, right? Not to me either. Look, guys, this was all about me. Who gives a fuck about what these people thought? I mean, I wasn't reacting because of them. I was reacting because of a blatant self-disrespect that I had for myself. These were strangers. These were people that weren't going to be involved in my lifelong success journey. They weren't going to play a role at all. These were people that were going to be in and out of my life for a second, but the lack of respect that I had for myself made me feel that I had to win every single scenario moving forward in life, and that's just really not important. The important is where you get to at the end, and you can't get distracted or let people who are testing you slide you off the rails and risk that potential future success that you may have for yourself. Okay, guys, we are moving on to the last step. My favorite part, because it is what have you learned through this journaling process to help you move forward productively and take back your confidence. Specifically for me in this area of my lack of self-respect, what I learned was I was really just fighting my own demons at the time. What I should have done was learn to respect myself instead of putting so much weight on the respect that I was hoping to get from these strangers that were out there. I mean, I can't believe that I used to put myself in situations that I could have jeopardized my life to deal with a stranger in a second, something that could have totally changed my life or something that would have followed me around if I caught a legal case or something like that. And I always had to explain that if I wanted to go and get a job instead of going the entrepreneurial route or this mentorship, leadership route where you kind of lead by your past examples and help others. It's just crazy that I allowed myself to get to that point. I really just needed to get comfortable within my own skin. And rather than fighting for my respect outwardly, dealing with the strangers, I should have fought from within and found a way to build up that level of self-respect for myself. Now, for some of you who may have grown up similarly to me, that was 3 attempts at saying one word, but we got it. I didn't grow up with a male role model, so everything that I did, as I mentioned before, was really trial and error. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know how to de-escalate a situation. I just had to learn as I was going, and a lot of those mistakes is what built up the pressure for me to take that respect, because I didn't feel good about myself. I felt like everything that I did was a mistake. And I was like, man, I can't afford this mistake. So I'm not going to let somebody else feel that they're better than me. I'm going to do what I can to fight and take that respect back. Doesn't make much sense, obviously, but that's kind of where my mindset was by not having that person that would take me under their wing and just show me the other side of the coin. And I think that's important in life, is to have either a mentor or a male role model in your life that can show you a way to act. Somebody that's been there, tried and tested. I mean, I understand that you have to learn for yourself, but when you are in that process, when you're just stuck within your own head, sometimes that's all you see, and you think that fighting for respect from these strangers or people in that instant is what you need to do. But if I would have had somebody that was next to me that said, look, son, look, bro, look, friend, you've got something that you're trying to work towards that's greater than this 1 second that you shouldn't let jam you up. And that's why Productive Gents is here. That's why there's other people that are out there on YouTube that you can find, where I didn't have the luxury of finding a mentor or a role model. It doesn't even need, in this day and age, it really doesn't even need to be someone that's physically next to you. You have YouTube, you have Google, there's blogs out there that you can read and kind of, find somebody that you vibe with that will help you see the other side of things. It's just not a good look to be stuck in your own head if you already lack that self-respect to let shit go and focus on the bigger picture. And for me, what I took out of this journaling process for my lack of confidence in self-respect that's going to help me move forward is that I just realized that it was my issue all along, my own lack of self-respect that allowed me to engage with these people. Look, you're going to encounter assholes and shitty people out there that will be willing to put you in shitty situations because they've got nothing else going on in their life, or maybe they're coming from the same place that you are where they didn't have a male role model or somebody to show them the ropes and they're trying to learn as well. But if you can find a way to build up your level of self-respect and that confidence that you have within yourself, that you have a bigger picture that you're working towards, when somebody does test you, when they test your manhood, you're not going to feel that you need to engage. It's essentially that self-respect that you have for yourself is going to act as a shield, a powerful shield for you that will allow you to just move forward anytime that you're tested. It will just drop to the wayside because you know this motherfucker in this instant is not going to impact me. I'm not going to let him slow me down. I'm not going to let him get in the way of where I'm trying to go, the empire that I'm trying to build as a man. And I think that's important, guys. I wish my younger self would have known his value because these players that I was engaging with, again, were just people that were there for a second. None of them were going to play any role in my future success, which is why I'm sharing it with you. I'm hoping that somebody that was going or is going through the same thing that I went through can gain some value from this and help you move forward. And that's why I'm offering you my opinion, because I want you to take back your confidence, regain your self-respect, and move forward productively. Guys, look, that's it for the Taking Back Confidence podcast, episode number 3. Please hit me up on Instagram, DM me, send me an email, mark@productivegents.com. Connect with me on social. Let me know some areas where you lack confidence, and maybe we'll talk about it on the next podcast. All right, guys, cheers. Have a great day.